What's up? Welcome back to the podcast. I hope you are doing well. I'm sure there is still some maybe energy from the full moon lingering when this podcast comes out the day after full moon in Aries. Really at a point in your life where you probably need to take some action on things. I I am really guilty of this. Is already knowing what you need to do, but kind of just set at a standstill because you have excuses why you don't want to take action on those things. The full moon in Aries is really telling you to, let go of all of that, kind of find some independence in some things maybe as well, and start moving forward. This is very bold and fiery and is opposite on the wheel to Libra. So we know it's Libra season. Yes. And while Libra is more, with relationships, Aries is going to be more of that independence piece. And just because signs are the sister signs, like opposite of each other, doesn't necessarily mean that they are opposites in like traits and personalities and things like that. But with some things, yes. Anyways, I am here to talk to you about today your highest divine feminine self, because this obviously part of a new offering I have in something I've been working on for at least over a month now, like hardcore. Looking back in my notes and stuff, I was like, I really need to have an episode where I kind of dive into this because I think it would be helpful and eye-opening, honestly. So, divine feminine self is that version of you who is really, she knows the balance. So your feminine and masculine really work the best together when they're in balance. And it's like, I personally, my entire life, have leaned in so heavily into my masculine energy. And I feel like there's a lot of women I know like that as well. And coming back to more of that feminine side, but the feminine side doesn't just mean, I feel like there's a misconception with just relaxing and receiving and, maybe not taking as much action, as action oriented is, more of a masculine trait, but finding a balance in between because you don't want to be so far on either side. It's almost like you want to reach the neutrality a little bit, I think is what I'm getting at. So, how did this come about for myself? Honestly, I had a reading done. I've had multiple of those done. Femininity had been a big recurring theme of a lot of readings I've had in my past. And this particular one was just like, your high divine feminine self is just like really wanting to connect with you and, help you grow and evolve. And I was like, okay, this is needed. I really know I've needed that. I've become aware of that over the past few years. And so, everyone has, even if you are a man or a woman, like everyone's going to have aspects of masculinity and femininity in them. And just based on your soul, your personality, you're probably going to lean either way, maybe a little more heavily in the masculine or in the feminine. Like me personally, in my story and what I want to do in this lifetime, like I love being a woman and I really want to lean more into my feminine. So connecting with my higher self has always been something that I've been doing on this journey now for a while. And just like digging deeper into that very like feminine version, because there are so many I've just come to realize and believe there's just like so many versions of you across all times and spaces and places and dimensions. And obviously, like our consciousness is with us right now on the here and now in this moment, me talking to you on this podcast. And I was like, okay, I want to learn from that highest divine feminine self because like I said earlier, I have spent, I feel like so much of my life living in my masculine, like A energy to a T, type A. Like I just have slash had, still work on it, like a need to control things and a need to know what's gonna, what's going on. And honestly, very, very much independent, which is not a bad thing because that is, I mean, that is of my nature of being, a manifester and a Sagittarius rising and a 2-4 profile in human design. There's a lot of like independence and aloneness, I guess, in my design and how what my soul chose in this lifetime. But I think, more of a learning aspect for me has been leaning on relationships, like actually asking for help when I need it, receiving things, being okay with rest, connecting to my intuition as opposed to being so logical all the time. Again, type A, and I think logic has been kind of tossed aside for me now in a good way. I I don't let that rule or control my life anymore. I am very open to, whatever is going to happen is going to be for my highest good. Like it's going to be exactly what I want or desire, or even better than I can imagine. And leaning into that trust in myself and God's source and like my spirit guide team, my higher self, any other version of me, like that I know that things are just always going to work out. And when you're coming from a mindset like that, it's so much more empowering than hiding behind your fears and oh, why is this happening to me? Oh my gosh. Just not taking action. It's like almost getting, and this is me, like, and this happens sometimes, like getting so overwhelmed that you're just kind of like in shock and you don't know what to do. And it's just like information overload, basically. And then you're like, well, fuck, what do I do now? Like, I don't know. And in reality, you do know. And that's what I've had to tell myself by avoiding things and letting fear guide my life. I really was just like giving my power away and taking that power back and trusting in myself is so much more the way of my divine feminine than I have ever had in my life. And my gosh, it's just like it started to shift things like in a small way. And obviously I've I've changed a lot in the last 3 years and it may not be noticeable to somebody like looking on the outside or even people that know me, you might not, you might like not notice the change, but internally, my world is incredibly different. And I know that's going to be portrayed on my external reality. Once I really, you know, take that final leap, I feel like I've done, and I talked about this last week, that I feel like I've done so much shadow work and really digging deep into the layers and pulling back things and deconditioning and living more in alignment to how my soul wants to thrive in this lifetime and how I was designed. And it's very invigorating. It's it makes you feel better, and honestly, it makes the little stuff seem just not as a big deal. I mean, there are things that happen in my life that if they would have happened 3 years ago, I would have been stroking out or freaking out, or oh my gosh, my reaction would have been so much differently. But now it's kind of like I like to react to things in a neutral place most of the time, if that's available to me. I mean, depending what it is. And I'm not saying it's not bad. It's not bad to have emotions and to react to things, and things that trigger you only like highlight areas that you may need to grow or work on or whatever. But just it makes things so much, I don't know. How do I want to explain it? I don't want to say it makes life easier, but it makes it, I don't know, maybe a little bit more enjoyable as well. I don't know. I'm just really grateful for all the shifts. And, even in the past month, being conscious about working with my highest divine feminine self has really shown me like, areas where I need to set boundaries, or areas where I need to actually talk and inform people in my life about what's going on and what I'm thinking. Or yeah, just having that capacity to really trust in myself and my intuition is one of the greatest gifts I could have given to myself. And it's still a journey. It can be hard. It can be really hard, especially when you're doing, you're interested in things that a lot of people in your life are not interested in. You are really like rapidly going through the self development, the growth, the spiritual journey, and all these things, and really digging down deep into like, who the hell am I, and what do I actually want to do, and what do I want? Where is this journey moving forward? But you don't have to have like all the clarity at all the points in time. And I think that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned in the last month or so is, and like I said, obviously trusting myself. That's been an ongoing journey for a few years, but really in the last month or so, especially with eclipse season, I have learned that, I mean, you don't always need to have clarity, but you should always have trust. I think I spent a lot of this year really anxious, not knowing the answers to things, and just wanting clarity, like wanting an answer, like where is this going to go moving forward, or what is going to happen here, or what should I do with this, and blah blah blah. And just the energy behind that, and just like wanting and needing to know right at that moment when my body and my soul was just saying like slow down. Do you even know what you want? Like, are you just again avoiding, some of your fears and doubts, and just trying to bypass things in order to get to that next level? Because yes, at the end of the day, I just want to be happy, and I want to learn and grow and be like the best mom ever, obviously. And keep growing in like my gifts and what I'm here to offer to the world, because I know that like once I let my light shine, that's going to allow others to do the same, because they're going to pick up on that. It's like, oh my gosh, like you're so happy, and what's the difference, and what have you been doing, and things like that, which I really truly enjoy. And I mean, that's like a general broad picture. I mean, that's not really specific or anything. But leaning in to that trust and not having to have that clarity have it's been not easy all the time, to be completely honest. Not easy at all, as I feel like we always want to know what's going to happen, but being in the basically like the void is uncomfortable, and sitting with being uncomfortable, I mean, allows for, growth, and clarity is going to come out of that. You might not have the answers that you're looking for right away, but you're going to get them in divine timing. You're going to get them when you need them. You've got to trust and you've got to know. And it's okay to be where you are right now, because this is just part of your journey. This is literally just part of your journey, and finding gratitude in where you are now also helps, yourself gain clarity and, follow those breadcrumbs to the next steps and the next action pieces that you need to take in your life. So that has been a gift for me, very much so. So leaning in, to the intuition, the trust, the compassion, the creativity, like those are all wonderful, feminine traits that I love to embody more and more every day. So in connecting with my own divine feminine self, I was like, this would be such a great gift to bring to other women as well. And so that's why I created the newest offer I have, which is Phone Your Feminine. And it's a great jump off piece for, somebody wanting some advice or maybe some clearing or whatever comes in through the session. And it's only 30 minutes. So it's like a short and sweet little preview of, some of the things that you could do when working with your higher divine feminine self. Like for me, for example, let me look at my notes because I like to write down things when they come to me. And I wrote notes and then didn't really take much action. A couple weeks later, connecting again, what do I need to do? Same shit came up in my head. So I'm like, I have a handle on connecting. I just don't have a handle on actually taking action on some of these things. But for me personally, things that are coming up is just what are you really passionate about right now? What do you actually want to do? I feel like my life is a little bit in the void right now, but clarity is going to come from leaning into those, what does excite me and light me up right now? What do I want to do? And how can I be in service to other women to help them start this transformation and be more of themselves and stop feeling so burnt out and the need to control everything and overreacting to every little fucking thing that happens in your life. It's not that deep. It's not that deep at all. And just, I don't know, having more deep conversations with people in your life as well. And I'm getting so, the surface level stuff sometimes is just not it anymore. But also things coming up for me, start selling your readings. They are powerful. Lean in with trusting your intuition and really just I've made it a point the past few weeks, starting my day, really wanting to get grounded and just asking what do I need to do today? How do I want my day to go? Obviously you probably have some things on your calendar during the day, especially during the week, and knowing that those things are going to go well, or what do you want to get out of this conversation or that meeting or whatever you have to do at your job, or maybe you're doing something with your kid or blah blah blah, and leaving room for other things to pop up and magic to happen, and just setting the intention that it is going to be a good day and being present in that moment, not really worrying what's going to happen in the next 3 to 6 months and not dwelling on what you did in your past. Just living more present has been huge for me. 2, I wanted to read a testimonial I just got from a lovely woman who I did a Phone Your Feminine reading for. And she said, "Hey, Kayleen, I just finished watching my reading. It was so beautiful and it resonated so much Firstly, so interesting that you were coughing and felt a tightness in your throat. I believe it was Saturday evening where I had randomly sneezed and felt a swelling in my throat. It felt like my throat was swollen in store. So you mentioned that in the beginning. Wow. I felt it too, and I felt the clearing in my throat chakra. Additionally, I recently have been expressing myself, my boundaries, and what's going on in my mind more lately. I hear the whispers, and you bringing this up only validates this and tells me to keep going. I have also been randomly crying and allowing myself to release when called to, as you mentioned as well. I think those card pulls were so synchronistic. It gave the energy of new home vibes, and absolutely, I have been called to center and ground myself more, which I have been trying to find time to do. So much resonated. So I love, love, love hearing feedback like that. My intention for this reading is just obviously it's short and sweet. So to really get you some needed advice of or validation is huge. I know a lot of the times we honestly, you're listening to this, you're probably pretty intuitive. You probably are psychic as well. You probably already know what you need to do. But it's really nice to have validation from someone else as well, especially when you're connecting to someone from your spirit guide team. I mean, what is better validation than that? So these readings I'm offering live or recorded, so you can just get them sent straight to your inbox and listen to it on your leisure, which those are really fun as well. But live is always fun too, over Zoom. And while this podcast comes out, I'm going to link it in the show notes, but I have a discounted code just for my birthday. And I know my birthday is over, you guys, but just like entering my year 33, I was like, I'm going to have a little fun like promo price for this. So to make it more accessible for, those women who really, really need it. And this will then, it's going to evolve into, more long term. Whoa. Oh my gosh. If you watch the YouTube video, that's going to be crazy. That was a very large orb. Holy shit. But as I was saying and being validated, it's going to evolve more into like hour-long sessions. I think are really good. Having multiple sessions over, a few weeks and really integrating the things you've learned in the clearings. Clearings are so, so helpful and just realigning your energy and like finding that spark and that zest for life and, remembering what you're passionate about and what you truly want to do. So that's how I foresee that going. Right now, I will have all that information in the show notes on how to get your own Phone Your Feminine reading. And I thank you so, so much for listening today. I truly appreciate it. And we'll talk to you next week.